now that I'm talking to you. I'm doing A-okay. How's my I'm trying to give you like background.
Oh, I love the background. That's awesome.
Yeah, I would like to say that I'm like, in Rio de Janeiro or in Hawaii. In my mind I am, but
Listen, you're here with us, and that's all that matters.
That's true.
I was sharing with Renee and Jose and Michelle, who joined early, how today's going to be a great one, because not only do you have a great story, but you're filled with energy. So thank you for making time this morning.
Anything, always for you.
Oh, well, thank you. So, Felisa, sorry, I have something in my eye. Sorry.
That's okay.
We are so excited that you're here as part of our Throwback Thursday series. Felisa was one of the many women who helped me launch this platform. So, let's kick it off, Felisa. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, what do you want me to cover? Like, where do you want me to go with this?
You know what? It's a new audience, so I think that it's important that you tell them your story, because you have an amazing story. And then we'll talk a little bit about your business ventures and how you're always reinventing yourself. But I think it's important to set the foundation so that folks who didn't see you the first time around know who you are.
Okay, great. So I'll push play and I'll give you the highlights. I worked overall for the NBA for 20 years. I started at the Phoenix Suns during the Charles Barkley era, and that was a lot of fun. I always wanted to be in entertainment in the music industry. I never wanted to be in sports, but somebody told me, they're like, Felisa, give it a try. At that time, the Phoenix, I just graduated from ASU in '94. And the Suns had just come off a championship run against the Bulls, so it was Charles and Michael Jordan. And, at that time in Arizona, there weren't the Diamondbacks, there weren't the Coyotes, it was just the Cardinals. As far as, there's flies out here with the beautiful scenery, sorry. Anyway, so I didn't realize how valuable and how hot the ticket was. And I started learning that very quickly. Sorry, I'm trying to get stable. And then in '97, Brian Colangelo, who at that time was the president of the Suns, took me to lunch, and he was like, Felice, what do you think? What would you think if I told you that we acquired a professional women's basketball team? And I said, oh, well, I would say congratulations. And he's like, well, what would you say if I told you I want you to help us run it? And I was like, okay, great. He goes, I want you to be in charge of the fan experience and et cetera, and all the games. And I said, when's tip-off? He's like, in a month and a half. I'm like, Brian. But it was the evolution of the WNBA in '97 and the Phoenix Mercury, and being a woman, part of that historical time was so outstandingly magical. Like, I mean, I watched women's dreams come true right before their eyes, and it was like, it was really special. So I was happy to be a part of that. But then, I was ready for the big city, so I went to New York, and staying true to my entertainment passions, I don't know if you know this about me, but I interviewed with Madison Square Garden Theater and Radio City Music Hall.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, and I wanted to work there instead of the NBA. But because the NBA was in Phoenix in '95 for the All-Star game, I was their on-the-ground contact person. So I had already established relationships at the NBA, like with Ski and Paul Lambert, and Throwback and those kinds of people. And so, moving from a girl from Phoenix, moving to the big city is like I was a foreigner in a foreign area, in a foreign land. So because I had already established relationships and rapport with them, it just was a natural what's the word I'm looking for?
Transition.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Transition. And it worked. And, I was very fortunate to meet people, special people like yourself, and have these incredible experiences and fast forward, so I worked at the league and helped to produce and direct large-scale live events like All-Star Weekends, international exhibition games, etc., trophy presentations, all that stuff. And then they started a department there called TeamBo, which stands for Team Marketing and Business Operations.
Yeah.
And I was one of the first people to be part of that department in evaluating NBA and WNBA teams and meeting with their presidents and owners and high-level execs and evaluating them and reporting our findings, which ultimately went back to Commissioner David Stern. And so, then I was in New York after 9/11 happened. I was like, I got to go back west to closer to my family. I was in charge of the Western Conference region, and I was evaluating teams on that end for the NBA still. And then in 2008, when the economy crashed, I acquired a celebrity entertainment basketball league from the NBA called the NBA Entertainment League, E-League. Not what it currently is, but what it was. And and that was a lot of fun. It was a room full of very powerful Hollywood, at that time we called them tastemakers, but influencers and that sort of thing. You had everybody from Adam Sandler to Will Ferrell to Jamie Foxx to Leo DiCaprio to Casey Wasserman and producers, directors, writers, etc. And then I went back to my passion of starting my own live event production company called Tenfold Entertainment.
Yeah.
And one of our first gigs out of the park was the World Series of Beach Volleyball, where former Shaq's agent Leonard Armato owned the property, asked me to help produce the event for him. And it was amazing. It was a pre-qualifying event for the Olympics. It also had a music festival, like a Coachella vibe on the beach. And it was funny, because in 2008, when the economy crashed and I decided to take a step to become an entrepreneur and start my own company, I was like, I don't have NBA money or resources, so what do I do? So I got creative. And I went to UCLA Anderson Business School, and I started hiring and training interns. And they built business. I had a sexy room at the time, I had a room full of celebrities and everything, so
Right.
I wouldn't want to be a part of that. And it was for 16 weeks that league would take place. And so I had students building business models and marketing strategies and ticketing strategies. And then when I got the World Series of Beach Volleyball, I went to the owner and I said, look, I'm going to need a bigger budget, for a bigger staff. And he's like, I'm unable to supply that kind of budget at this time. And I was like, okay. So I got creative again as an effort to not lose the opportunity. And I went to UCLA Anderson Business School, back to the well. And I was like, I'm just going to find a whole bunch of hungry, smart, young students, train the hell out of them, and turn them into an army of rock stars. So I taught them how to stage manage. I taught them how to produce, how to direct, how to deal with the TV trucks. It was broadcasted live on NBC nationally and internationally on all their platforms. It was an incredible learning experience. But the term falling in love? I didn't realize this, but I literally fell in love with teaching the young generation. I love working with students. And I did it by association. And be out of need, and just being creative and trying to figure out how to adjust to make things successful for what I needed to do from a resource standpoint, right?
Right.
And then fast forward to about 4 years ago, UCLA asked me to teach a high-level sports and entertainment class, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll try it. And I did it, and I love that. And then Lexi King, who started with me as my intern 10 years ago, and who I'm proud to say now is my business partner, she saw the program that I was teaching at Anderson, and she was like, Felisa, since you've left the NBA in 2008, we've trained, mentored, and helped to place upwards of 100 students. We know the formula. I want to build a business model, pitch it to Anderson. We deserve our own program. And I was like, okay, great, let's try it. And she built it, we pitched it, they bit. So I'm proud to say Lexi and I are the proud owners of this amazing baby called Impact Internship. We own our own professional development program and internship placement program with UCLA, although UCLA is not exclusive, so it's not just exclusive to UCLA students. They
Right.
just act as our educational host partner with resources, and they've been fantastic. And we're in conversations with other universities as well. But, you know, we've had students from Indiana University, from Concordia Irvine, from Arizona State University, woo-hoo, you know, to all of these different places. And UCLA just gets to be part of the fruit of our labor. So it's been amazing.
I love it. I love it. So it's so, I just love your story because you have been able, you have a foundation and you've been able to literally grow multiple branches. So you have Tenfold Entertainment, which is all about production and live events. And then you have Impact Internship, which is really the way that I look at it is you and Lexi are really, you know, molding the future of tomorrow, the leaders of tomorrow. So congratulations on that.
Thanks.
And my next question is, how do you continue to evolve yourself and, you know, capitalize on these opportunities to, you know, continue to grow?
You know, it's funny because as I teach the students, I'm reminding myself of my own philosophies and words that I've lived by, right? So it's like, I'll share a funny story with you that you'll appreciate. So I remember when I first started with the NBA in New York, you may have been a part of this trip, I don't know, but they were doing the WNBA, I think the first WNBA All-Star weekend, and it was in Phoenix. And everybody went to go do a site survey. I wasn't invited to go. I was the rookie, you know, so I stayed back. But I remember coming back for Ski called a conference and a meeting in the conference room, and Peter Fink was like, "Well, I just want to start off the meeting by saying this Felisa person is like the mayor of Phoenix." And I was like, "Oh God!" I'm like, "Who is this guy and where is he going with this?" And he was like, "Oh, really? Why do you say that?" And he's like, "Because everyone there raves about her. From the security, from the janitors to the guest service representatives." And I'm like, that was probably one of the most flattering compliments of my life, because it made me feel proud to know that, like, I've always lived by just treat people the way that you would want to be treated, you know? And a janitor and a security guard is, to me, in my eyes, is just as important as the owner of the team. We all need each other to function and work properly, right? So I just abide by those philosophies. And, you know, I'm a highly creative person. I hate being stagnant or complacent. And sometimes I'm like, I'm so done. I'm so overworking. And I'm like, and then I'll sit there for a day and I'm like, all right, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going.
Yeah.
There's so much to take advantage of, you know?
Yeah. So. Yeah. And one of the things that I'll share with our audience, which I think is really important as Felisa talks about relationships, and it's Felisa is an amazing supporter of people in this industry. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm her biggest cheerleader because she just has a tremendous heart. And she's just, you know, so I think that I want the audience to know that, you know, it's just like, if you're in Felisa's circle, and even if you're not, you are the biggest cheerleader for people. So thank you for that.
I mean, listen, it takes two. And, you know, going back to your question and then my philosophy of treating people the way you want to be treated, it's also with relationships. Like, people have said to me, how do these players like you, and how do these celebrities like have so much respect for you, and you've never like crossed any inappropriate boundaries with them, or, you know, something like that? And I'm like, because at the end of the day, they're people, right? You know, and I treat them as people. I don't care how much money they have. I don't care what their status is. If you're a good person, you're a good person, you know, like, and, you know, one of the players that sticks out in my mind for that is Steve Nash. Like, with the relationship he's had with me, like when he came to the Suns as a rookie, and from then on, he went to Dallas and back to the Suns. But every time I see him to this day, he'll be in a press conference, you know, I'll see him at All-Star Weekend or something like that. He'll literally take a second out of his moment to be like, hey, Felisa, everything good? You good? That's it. Like, he never big times me. He's just a grounded, good guy, you know, at the end of the day. And so, Elisa, you're my biggest cheerleader, but I'm your biggest cheerleader. And you and I are very like-minded people in the way that who we are with a moral compass, how we live our lives, and how grounded we are fundamentally as human beings, you know. And we've always had passions and thought big and dreamt big, and, you know, just I fall back, you catch me, you fall back, I got you, you know.
Yeah,
that's how life works. So we're lucky to be able to have experienced that with each other too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Felisa, based on all of your experience and now you're teaching, you know, the leaders of tomorrow, what would be your 3 career insights that you would share with our audience today?
3 career insights.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna repeat. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. That to me is a simple solution. Another career insight is relationships aren't just key, but genuinely maintaining the essence of relationships is what's key. Genuinely show interest in other people. Ask, you know, get on a phone and you know, get on a meeting, and the first thing you say, how's your day going? How's your week going? You know, ask them something personal about themselves. It's not just about let's get the work done and keep it moving, right? And I also have a very simple philosophy in life. And for me, like, I'm pretty consistent. What you see is what you get with me 24/7.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that would say that. You don't see a business side of me and then a private side of me. I mean, maybe sometimes, but I pretty much wear everything unapologetically on my sleeve. But show up or show out. If you're in, show up. If you're not, get the hell out of the way so somebody else can come in. Show up or show out. That's it.
I love that.
Yeah, it's so simple, right?
Yeah.
I teach that to my students. I'm like, you know, well, when we're in class, I make them I create a phone locker. Like, I get this ornament holder from the Container Store. And I put all of their phones in that. They have to sign out their phones and put it, because I'm like, I'm not competing with technology. And then if they fall asleep or they're like, they hide their phones, whatever, I'm like, you're here because you want to be here. If you don't want to be here, you can leave. I would love for you to leave. So go. If you want to go, go. Show up, be here, or show out. And then they show up. Like, it's their choice. It's not me telling them how to be. It's them choosing what they want to be. So.
Yeah, for sure. And so a bonus question today is what is your superpower?
You couldn't have prepped me with this question. You know, I think one of my superpowers is, I don't think I have just one, but one of the ones that I really find that I have, and I get validated almost daily about this, especially in the current world, is that I love people. I love all kinds of people. And every single person on this planet has their own individual story. Story of passions, stories of things that drive them, their strengths, their areas of improvement, you know, what keeps them going and gets them up every day, right? And I love hearing people's stories, and I feel people's stories. I don't care what category you're in. I don't care what color, race, religion, politics, like, that means nothing to me, because I see you so purely as a human being, and I connect to you that way. And so I think just like really being present and energetically connecting and understanding people respectfully and beautifully is like literally what makes this world such a wonderful place. And so it's something that I choose to stay with it, you know, and when the world, what we're all going through right now is there's a lot of heaviness, there's a lot of weight, there's a lot of pressure to be maybe even something that we're not who we authentically are. I always tell the students, stay true to yourself, and since the first day I started teaching 5 years ago, I refer to the students as you are officially part of the club, hashtag Club NoJo family, which stands for hashtag Club No Judgment. And I say we are all in here. We are all different people. We're all made up differently, but we are here to listen to each other without judgment. We're here to have respectful and honest communication and conversations with each other. And we are a family, whether you guys like it or not. And if you don't like it, again, you're welcome to leave, but we are a family of no judgment. And so what I love to this day, like all these students on my Instagram, they'll be like, hashtag Club NoJo forever, you know? And it's just something that just sticks within, and that's just how I lead my life. And, you know, I'm able to share that with the younger generation, which is my responsibility, I think, as a human being on this planet.
That's awesome. That's great. So Jose from our audience says we need more people to have that superpower.
Woo-woo! I agree, Jose.
Right.
I agree. Do it.
Felisa, thank you so much for your time today. This has been amazing. Thank you everyone for watching, and we will see everyone here next Tuesday for our next lunchtime conversation.
Thank you,
Felisa.
When we do this again, can I request that we do Monday Mimosa Day?
Okay.
Or Monday Margarita Day. You pick the time of day and we'll figure it out.
Okay, you got it. That'll be a special edition.
Thank you. Love you. Felisa. So proud of you.
Likewise.
Thanks for my graphics. Bye. Bye.